Okay, good evening, everyone. So we're going to start over again. This is our first info session about our batch 7, which will start on April 21st. Today, during our info session, we're going to try to explain you how the bootcamp works, what are the prerequisites that you need to do, how to prepare for the bootcamp, what is the schedule of the bootcamp, to try to give you all the information regarding what are the things that we teach there and how we are conveying the classes and everything. So as I said, the start date is April 21st. Please make sure that you start preparing for it. And of course, we're going to give you all the information. Of course, we have some good, let's say, discounts that we're going to announce today. Okay. So let us start with why you should consider a career in IT. It is because IT is one of the most growing, growing fields, especially during COVID time. We saw that a lot of people, they lost their jobs, but people who were in IT, they were able to continue to work in their job. And a lot of our students, they were able to land the job even more during the pandemic, right? So the good thing is that the salaries are very high, and it's a place where you can grow in your career. You can start easy with software tester, but later on you can jump to other fields in the IT. And there are a lot of opportunities, right? There are a lot of opportunities, and as I said, the salaries are relatively high. So what is software testing? Let me give you in brief, in short, what is software testing. So let us suppose that you have we have a software that your company is creating. So all these online web applications, like, I don't know, like Bank of America, Facebook, all those different applications, or any I don't know, medical software, or any educational software, or insurance companies, they have a product, right? The companies, they create a product. So they also have somebody which is part of the team, and their title is software tester. So what are software testers doing? They are making sure that the quality of the software is as expected. So it's not, I don't know, when you are trying to do something, you don't want the software to crash. You don't want to look bad in front of your customers. So there is these people which are making sure that the software is working fine. So as I said, right, the salaries there are, we say 90K, but of course our students, we're going to give a range between 80 and 130, and our students mostly they find a job with 100K. You are, as a software tester, you're going to be part of the software development team, meaning that there is those people that are building the software, and you're going to work side by side with them, and you're going to be able to I don't know, work with them and try to make sure that the software is working fine. So the good thing about software testing is that no IT background is required. So when you start our bootcamp, right, when you start our bootcamp, you don't need any IT background. Of course, during these 6 months, we're going to teach you everything that is needed in this career, and at the end of the bootcamp, you're going to be able to find a position in top tech companies, so to land a job in very good companies. And of course, one of the things is that a lot of companies, they allow you to work from home. Of course, that depends on the company. It depends on wherever you're applying. So there are companies that they want you to go to the office. There are companies that allow you to work hybrid, and there are a lot of companies that allow you to work from home. So that is a good opportunity, right, to start a career in IT. So as I said, right, what is a boot camp, right? Our boot camp is a 6 months boot camp, and I'm going to give you the details. So a boot camp is an alternative to a 4-year college, right, bachelor degree, right? So of course, we're not going to give you a engineering degree, but you're going to learn during these 6 months. You are learning the tools that are needed in this career. So if you go to college, of course, you learn a lot of things, but sometimes I've seen a lot of people who finish a college and they're not able to land a job, or they're not able to do the job. Why? Because they're learning different things, but our bootcamp is focused on only those things that you need. So you're not learning other things that are not needed, only those things that are needed in this career. And of course, right, so you're going to learn programming, you're going to learn coding, you're going to learn some tools that you use as a software tester, how the tests are done, where do you report, how do you report them to your supervisor or to your team, let's say, and then, right, all of these things should be explained during the bootcamp. So as I said, our primary goal is not to give you a degree, but our primary goal is to prepare you for the industry, so that at the end of the bootcamp, you're going to be able to, right, go to the interviews, you're going to be able to answer the questions, and then after you find a job, you're going to be able to work in that field and to do the job and you have the necessary knowledge to do the tasks that are assigned to you. So when you're done, right, as I said, when you're done with a boot camp, so you're gonna have one of these titles. So there are different titles, but there are mostly the same. So sometimes they call it software development engineer in test, or SDET. Another one is automation test engineer, because you're automating, you're writing the code. Quality assurance engineer, or QA engineer for short. Software tester, quality analyst, and sometimes in a company that can also hire you as a test lead, which is somebody which is leading a group of testers in the company. Okay, so as I mentioned, right, so on April 21st, you're gonna start the boot camp, right, and then you're gonna learn all the things during these 6 months. That's an accelerated course, meaning that you're learning intensively every day something new. And then at the end of the 6 months, by also learning, I don't know, doing the homeworks, doing a couple of projects which are real, which will simulate the real projects in the real life. And then at the end, you're going to be able to find a job. So as I mentioned, before you start the boot camp, you don't need any IT background. So 99% of our students, they don't have anything to do with computer science, right? Maybe they're graduated from other different, let's say, they have a different degree. They can come from education, from health, from, I don't know, different places. But at the end of the bootcamp, they're able, right? They're able to learn those tools. So no IT background is required, but valid work authorization is required. What does it mean? It means that when you start the bootcamp, you need to be, right, because at the end of the bootcamp, you're gonna go to the companies and you're gonna be able to tell them that I can do this task. But if you don't have a valid work authorization for United States and Canada, then of course they're not gonna hire you, and we cannot help you with that thing. So I want to be upfront with you so that you know. Okay. After 6 months, guys, after these homeworks and tasks and projects, at the end, as I mentioned, you're gonna earn one of these titles: software development engineer test, quality assurance engineer, or for short, software tester. The salary ranges between 80 and 130, but as I said, most of our students, they have found a job with 100+K. Also, we have seen a couple of students who go even beyond 130, but it's very rare for that thing. So yes, we're gonna talk about the tools. So we teach manual testing, because if you want to be a software tester, you also need to know about manual testing, right? It's like the prerequisite, let's say, or you need to know what is testing in general. Okay. And then at the end, after you're done with the bootcamp, you're going to find a job and you're going to work in a tech company. So the good thing is that, right, after you're done with the QA, right, after you're done with the bootcamp software tester, and then you are going to work in a company as a software tester, maybe after 1 or 2 or 3 years, you want to switch. So that is very easy for you. After you have earned this degree, after you have worked for a couple of years, it's very easy for you to switch to another field in the IT, right? Maybe do a small bootcamp or learn some tools, or sometimes even in the company, they say, you know what, I want you to work in another project and I want you to work as a software developer, and then they can, I don't know, train you and they can teach you and allow some time for you to adapt and to move to the other field. So after that, you can work as a software developer, of course, by learning other tools, right? As a Scrum Master, project manager, cybersecurity analyst. So this software tester is the first step. So if you do that, you can go to the IT field, you can work there. And then if there are people who even want to learn even more, the ways are open, and you can, or the doors are open, and you can learn other things, and you can become a DevOps engineer or API tester. So if you want to become a software developer at the beginning, it is difficult because there are 2 steps, right? It's a little bit like there are a lot of things that you need to learn. But if you become a software tester at the beginning, and then after that, you can switch to any other careers. So that is probably this slide answers your question, Dwayne. So of course, during the, right, what is the flow of our bootcamp? You need to learn about manual testing. Every automation tester needs to do everything manually first. So before you write the code, before you write your scripts, first you do them manually. So you need to learn about manual testing. And of course, even with only manual testing, you can find a job as a manual tester without learning coding and everything. But of course, the salaries are high, and we don't suggest. We want our students to, right, during this month, to learn everything and to be also to be open to a lot of different job openings. Okay. So after you learn manual testing, you're also going to learn about coding or programming. We're going to teach Java programming language in our bootcamp. So you can ask your friends if it's a very strong programming language or not. And then after you learn coding, right, for first 3 months, then also you learn about testing tools. So we're going to talk about testing tools, and I don't want you to overload you with technical information, but also I want you to learn something so that you have this for reference and to ask if you have any people in this field, or if you want to ask anybody if this bootcamp is teaching the tools that we need. Sorry. So automation testing tools, you're going to learn about Test Engine and Cucumber, which are different testing tools which allow you to create reports and to submit those reports to the other let's say supervisor, or to the other people in the field. After this part here, guys, after you learn manual testing, coding, and automation testing, you can work as a front-end tester. So you learn, you are testing the whatever the user see, the front part of the software. But we don't stop there. We also teach, the last couple of months, we teach about database and API. So that is the back end of the software. These are technical terms, which of course you're going to learn during the bootcamp. So you're going to learn database, you're going to learn API, how to test them, right? The purpose that you're learning is how to test them and everything. So after these tools here, then you're ready for the market, right? After you learn all this manual testing, front-end testing, back-end testing, and then if you know all of them, you're called full stack tester, then you're ready for the market. So we are going to help you prepare the resumes. We're gonna interview you one by one to see if you're ready for the market. So we do our mock interviews, and then when you're ready, then we allow you to prepare the resumes, and then you're gonna start applying for the jobs in the field. So even when you're done with the bootcamp, guys, even when you're applying for the jobs, we're gonna help you. We're gonna every week we're gonna let's say have other sessions like how to apply, where to apply, when to apply. And then of course also when you land the job, we're gonna help you with talking to the recruiter, how to negotiate your salary and stuff like that, so that you are getting the best benefit possible from the bootcamp. So you're talking now, we have a question about the certificates. So in the bootcamp, of course, the purpose of the bootcamp is not to give you a certificate and you leave on your own. The purpose of the bootcamp is for you to find a job at the end. So we prepare you. Definitely you can get certificates, even though they're not a must. But if you want to take certificates, like there are Java certificates, there are other certificates, Scrum certificate, which there are other companies that you can take the test. So we prepare you for the test. You can get the certificates. But of course, most of our students, they don't need the certificates. They find the job, right? They find the job with the knowledge that they get during the bootcamp. So I mentioned the tools. I just want to go like quickly over them. So Java is the programming language that you're going to learn during the bootcamp. So Java is a very strong programming language. Is used a lot in the field. And first 3 months we spent with Java programming language, so that you learn what is programming and you learn how to write code. After that, you learn about Selenium. Selenium is a tool which allows you to communicate with a browser, how to open a browser, how to send commands, and how to do some tests there. And then, of course, after that, we also learn, as I mentioned, Test Engine and Cucumber, which are testing tools, how to take the screenshot and how to put them in the report and stuff. And then how many tests passed, how many tests failed, and everything. Other than that, you're going to learn about, right? You're going to learn about Jira, which is a tool that is used in the field to get the tasks and to perform the task. MySQL, which, as I mentioned, right, database testing. So you're going to learn MySQL. You're going to learn Postman and Rest Assured, which are for API testing, and GitHub and Maven. There are a lot of things here, guys, but I don't want you to get scared. We're going to teach them step by step. We have done these things. Multiple times, and now we're, as I mentioned, right, we are in batch 6, and our students, we're doing the same thing. So students have been able to do these things, to learn these tools, and to be able to, let's say, use them in the field. So now you have a lot of questions here. I can come to your questions, especially when they're long at the end. But one of the questions is, why do we teach Java? So Java, as I mentioned, is one of the strongest programming languages. So if you apply for a job, guys, and if the company is not using Java, of course you cannot learn all the programming languages in the world. But as long as you know Java, which is one of the strongest, C# is used a lot, Python, maybe you have learned these names. So we have had a lot of students who, after they learn Java, after they learn all the tools, when they apply for a job, in the job, for example, they're using a different language. They have hired our students because they say, you know, right, you have the logic about how to do testing, you know the logic how to build a framework, so you can do it with Java, you also can do it with other tools. And they give generally, I don't know, 1 or 2 months to learn that new language, that new programming language, or another tool that the company is using. But Java is one of the strongest and one of the most commonly used. That's why we teach Java. And if you say to the companies that I know Java, I was going to say I speak Java, I know Java programming language, of course, right, they know that you have a strong information there. Another question is, we're going to prepare. When I said prepare for the boot camp, so I was trying to say this one. So maybe I can come to this question if you can ask this question again at the end. But the purpose here was, so please be prepared. I don't know, we also have some materials for you if you don't want to wait until April 21st so that you be ready. You want to see what are the things that are taught. We can share those materials with you. That was the meaning. And then, even if we do a contract, so we're going to talk about price and everything, but you're coming with the questions right now. So even if you make a contract with us as of today, it doesn't mean that you're going to be charged today. You make a contract so that you benefit the discounts and everything. But of course, the payment, we're going to start on April 21st, and we're going to explain that process. We're going to explain that process towards the end. So let me continue, right? We need to continue with the presentation, and of course we can come to the questions one more time at the end. Okay, so what do we offer? Of course, you're gonna have a couple of real projects that we're gonna simulate the actual work environment. So you're gonna do 2 or 3 big projects during our boot camp. You're gonna be there in a team, so to see how you collaborate with other people in the team, right? With other let's say colleagues. We are going to teach different methods and strategies and tools that are used in the current technology. Okay, all the classes are online. So as of today, as you can see, right, I'm doing the presentation here. The same thing will be the classes. It's going to be on Zoom. You can watch it from your home, and we're going to have a platform how you can ask your questions if you don't understand anything, or how to ask your questions whenever you wanna. Let's say the teacher to repeat something. And of course, all these courses will be recorded. If any of you want to rewatch the class because, I don't know, there's something that he wants to watch, or maybe if he missed the class because of something that happened and he couldn't watch the class, all the class will be recorded, and all the materials will be shared with you through Google Classroom. So of course, we have our training and mentorship program. So we are proud of our the way that we do it. So we have mentors. There are people who have been in the field for like 5 years. So these people will have a group after some months when you learn something, towards like after the middle of the boot camp, they'll have their own group. So let's say 5 to 10 students, they'll have their own mentor to ask their questions and to be able to learn everything from the field. So we have assistants, people who will assist you during the classes. That's very good that you have a lot of questions there, guys, but I'm going to come to the questions towards the end, okay? So during, right, what do we offer? We also prepare you for the market, how to apply for the jobs, how to prepare your resume and everything. We have classes for everything so that we prepare you to be ready for the market. Also, we do something we call mock interview, right? So we interview each of you as if you are in a real interview. One of our mentors, one of our instructors, they will interview you to make sure to see if you have learned those concepts, if you're ready for the market. If you pass our mock interview, it means that you're ready and you can go and apply for a job. If you don't pass our interview, we give you feedback to make sure that you learn those things and you come back and you do another interview with another mentor or another instructor there. And of course, we have a lot of students that now are working somewhere, and there's a wide network of people there and also recruiters. So we're going to help you, right, to make sure to find the job somewhere. And as I said, even after you find the job, even after you get offers, sometimes we have students who have got 2 or 3 offers, and then we help them how to get the highest offer, or sometimes to negotiate to get even better compensation, right? How to maximize those, because you can definitely negotiate with recruiters. So the schedule of the bootcamp, right? So these are the mandatory classes. On Tuesday from 7 to 10 p.m. All of these are Eastern time, by the way. Wednesday, 7 to 10 p.m. Thursday, 7 to 10 p.m. So 3 days of the week is 3 hours from 7 to 10. Saturday and Sunday, it's from 11 to 4. Sorry, from 11 to 3. So there's 4 hours on Saturday and 4 hours on Sunday. So there's a total of 17 hours a week. Of course, on top of it, you will need to, right? You'll need to study, you'll need to do the homework. So be prepared for them. That's what I meant. Be prepared for it psychologically. If you have any plans or anything, make sure that during this 6 months, you are really concentrated on the bootcamp. You're really taking this one seriously. So there are 3 things that I want from you. One of the things, as I mentioned, was to make sure that you have the work authorization. The second thing that I'm going to say here is that you need to have a proper English. It doesn't need to be perfect, but you need to communicate, because at the end of the bootcamp, you will find a job, right, going into the interviews yourself. If your English is not very good, if you cannot communicate, if you cannot understand, of course, definitely I would suggest you to learn English first and then do the bootcamp, because all the topics, everything here will be explained in English. And also at the end, you're going to go and find the job in English. And the third and the most important thing that I want from you is commitment, dedication. So if you take the bootcamp seriously, guys, at the end, you're going to learn all the things. And at the end, you're going to be able to find a job. If you don't take the bootcamp seriously, if you skip classes, if you don't do the homework, if you don't do the project, you'll not learn everything, and you're going to have difficulties when you're going to try to find a job at the end. Okay. So Betül, we're going to answer all the questions, all of those questions going to answer during our presentation. Okay. So I don't want to take much of your time. I just wanted to invite here our alumni. So let me make you a panelist. Can you please raise your hand? Okay, perfect. Happened something wrong. Let me just make sure that I allow you again. Okay, perfect. Sorry. So let me stop sharing my screen and let me change our look.
Hello.
Hi.
I cannot start my video for some reason. It says you cannot start your video because the host has stopped it.
Can you try now?
Yeah, I can do it now.
Perfect, perfect. Just 1 second. Let me change. Okay, let me change my name here so that I display my name, Leon. And let me just change yours. Okay, perfect. So Hasrat, how are you doing?
Doing fine, Elin.
Perfect.
How are you?
So thank you for coming. And I just wanted to, if you can share your experience during the bootcamp, after the bootcamp, now that you have been working as a software test engineer. And then, of course, we're going to come with the questions from them to you. So they're going to make you sweat. So be ready for it.
Okay. So I heard about the bootcamp from a previous alumni, Okan, our YouTuber. So I watched his progress, you know, his vlogs about the bootcamp. And after seeing like he was able to find a job in a couple of weeks, like in a matter of weeks, I started to, you know, give it a shot myself. So I made a bit of research about the tools. I joined one of the info sessions like this one. And after I started in the first couple of months when we were learning about Java, it came a bit of abstract. But once we get to the other tools that we use in our, you know, real world projects like Selenium and Cucumber, where we interact with the, you know, the applications we test, it started to become easier. And then after the bootcamp, I gave myself maybe like 1 or 2 weeks to study on the interview questions, and I was able to get, I think, 3 offers in 2 weeks.
3 offers?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect, perfect. So, and then we're gonna, like everybody now, you can ask your questions, and I'm gonna direct your questions to Hasrat. So one of the questions is, what was the biggest challenge going from the bootcamp to a real job? So when you started the real job, what was the biggest challenge for you?
Yeah, so I'm in my second position right now. I was in a company as a contractor first for 6 months, and then they decided not to extend it. And now I'm in a full-time position. And for both of these positions, the tools and the language we use in our company is not the one that we learned. So I'm using JavaScript mostly in our current company, also in the previous one. And even in my current position, I'm a QA integration engineer. So I don't do any front end tests. I'm only doing the API testing. So
That's perfect. So like you said that you learned the tools in our bootcamp, and you went to the company and then using other tools or other, let's say, programming language. So did they give you time to train, or why did they hire you if you didn't know those tools?
Yeah, in my first position in the interview, they asked me about some coding questions in Java, and that was one of the things that, you know, I most focused on during the bootcamp. I did not only do the homeworks, I tried to understand them and do more like lead code questions and stuff. And I think after seeing me, you know, getting a, you know, sufficient knowledge in a, you know, object-oriented concept, a programming language like Java, they decided, you know, it would be easier for me to learn a scripting language like JavaScript. So they decided to hire me, and they gave me time to learn it.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. So they gave you time to adapt to the new language, right?
Yeah, they had a setup framework in JavaScript, so I just, you know, look at the automation scripts they already have written. So just taught myself.
Perfect. So we have the second part of the question is very good question. So what did you wish you spend more time learning now that you're working? So what do you, let's say, not regret, but what do you wish that you learned even more?
Yes, since I'm working as a API tester now, back like integration tester, I wish I leaned heavily on the backend testing side of it, because I know that market needs for more, you know, backend testers who can understand the whole process, you know, the CI/CD, the integration.
Yeah, so there are a lot of terminology, like, but technical terms, but still you're giving the idea. So another question is, did you have any IT background before the bootcamp?
No, my major was foreign languages, so I didn't have any IT background.
So you have your background was
Foreign languages.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. And then you have a bachelor degree, right?
Yes.
So that everybody knows. So by the way, when you apply for the jobs, if you have a bachelor degree, which is different from computer science, it doesn't matter. You can just apply and tell them that you have the degree. But if you don't have any bachelor degree, still you can apply, but you shouldn't show. You say, I don't have a bachelor degree. So shouldn't, let's say, you shouldn't lie about it. You shouldn't make it up, because there's a way for them to check it. So that's very important. Do you have other questions for Hasrat? Another question is, what's your work-life balance? So how many hours per week do you work? And I don't know, do you need to work during the weekends or during nights? How does it work?
No, it's just classic, 9 to 5. Maybe only when you have a release scheduled. We have one in the coming weeks. Maybe in those days you might, work some overtime. If you're a full-time employee, if you're a contractor, you don't usually work overtime because they don't want to kind of, pay you more. And in terms of work and life balance, I can say that it's pretty good because these days most of the companies, they don't like follow agile 100%. So you kind of sometimes you kind of have to wait for the developers to finish their coding to test stuff.
That's good. What about are you working remotely or are you in office?
Yeah, I'm working remotely right now, but they wanted to hire someone in my current city, so I might go to office once in a while. So not like 1 or 2 days per week. It might be maybe one day in maybe 3 months, a quarter.
Once in 2 or 3 months. That's good. What about did you get any certificates after you finished the bootcamp? Did you need or did you get any certificates?
No, I thought about like there are some. I think Ahmed mentioned it in the chat. There was some. Let me see. ISTQB certificates. I thought about that, but no one asks for it. No one asks for it, so you don't need it.
Yeah, as long as you can show that you know the like programming, or they
Yeah.
give you coding and they test you.
Mhm.
So it's not a like the certificate is not a must. But of course, if you want to like pay some money and get certificates, of course you can definitely do it. Another question is, did you find a job with 6 digits, or are you close to it, or
Yeah, my current one is close to that figure you showed in the slide, so it's about 6 figures.
okay, perfect, and you're happy with it, and we're happy for you. Another question, what about the first salary when you were a contractor? Was it around the same?
Yeah, it was again about 6 digits.
Above, so both of them were above 6 digits. Well,
Yeah.
that's perfect. Yeah, so yeah, okay, what about other questions? So
Again, like I said, if you have multiple offers, like you mentioned, you can literally bluff. You can bluff, like you can say I have another offer which is this, and they usually increase the offer they give you because they already interviewed you. They want you.
yeah, so also sometimes we have some students that they find a job, and or for people who are, let's say, are afraid to start looking for a job. For example, students from batch 5, I remember a couple of them, they send me a question like that. They're like, I'm afraid, what if they fire me and stuff like that. I'm like, the company which hires you, they don't prefer to fire. I mean, they don't want to fire you because they spend a lot of time to interview you. They spend a lot of time training you. So they would fire you only if you do a big mistake. If you, I don't know, like if you delete the servers, or if you do something really, or if you don't go to the work or stuff like that. The company, they say that to fire somebody, the cost for a company is 1 year salary. So whatever you get in 1 year salary, that is the cost for the company to fire you, because as I said, they need somebody to train you. People will hire somebody else, so that is a big deal. So when searching for jobs, did you find Java as the most requested language, or maybe other languages like JavaScript, Python, and etc.?
I don't I don't I don't see Python in the job description that much, but I think Java and JavaScript is the most popular because with Java you can use Selenium, and with JavaScript you can use Cypress, and those tools are pretty popular these days. And like I said, if you learn Selenium in the bootcamp, you can learn Cypress in a week.
Yeah. Yes, also I remember a student who like was a couple of years ago, he did the boot camp, and then after that, of course, during the boot camp, we're teaching slowly because of course people, they don't have any background, so we're going slowly for every topic, and at the end, and then after he find the job, then he was, I don't know, not making fun, but he was saying, you know what? Oh my God, these classes are so long now. I can learn stuff very quickly. And I said, you can learn stuff quickly now because you had the background. But if you didn't learn those things, it will be difficult for you to learn other things. So is the work you work collaborative, or do you work alone in your work?
Yeah, lots of meetings. Lots of meetings. In my current company, it's a big team. So like even the QA team differs in, you know, some positions, integration team, customer portal, you know, ETL. So maybe more than 20 QAs. So we have to be, we have to communicate all the time to, you know, see what is covered.
Yeah, and you do a lot of meetings. So if you have any openings there, you make sure that you are referring to other students, right? So what is the domain of your company that you're working for?
It's an energy company.
Energy company. Okay, perfect. And then there's a question about people who are not living in the USA. We're gonna have another info session for the people who are living in Europe. So the tools and everything are the same, but when you're applying for a job, there are like differences because of course the salaries are different there, and the way of their background check is different. But of course, we also have some students who are trying to find a job in other places than. But this info session day is only for US and Canada. So which space do you have more of as that roles? Commercial or defense, or which?
I think these days every company, every field has some sort of application. So there's always the software to be tested. So
Yeah,
it's
so
pretty much
like,
everything,
yeah,
every industry.
everything that there's application, there need
Mhm.
developers, and they also need testers, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
perfect. So another question about your work schedule. You said that it is 9
9
to
to 5
5. Yeah, but
weekdays.
what about the long days? Is it like every day or every week or every month? For example, sometimes as you said, you have a release or something. Does it happen very often, or how does it work?
Yeah, if we have some, you know, tight schedules, tight like, you know, deadlines that we have to deliver, or, you know, if there's some, you know, unexpected bug that we find, you know, in the last minute, we might have to work some overtime. But other than that, it's usually, you know, very balanced in terms of work and life.
So in the previous company, you preferred to work overtime because you were paying extra, but now that you're a
Yeah,
full-time employee, you wouldn't like it, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's a funny way of thinking. So any other questions for there? I mean, they're really good questions, and thank you for answering all of them, Hasrat. So do you have any
My
other
pleasure.
questions for Hasrat? So where is your
Um,
job located? You said in your city. Which state you are?
yeah, I'm in Texas.
Texas. Okay. Uh, are companies making you sign NDAs with your job?
I mean, when you first join a company, you usually have some, you know, sensitive customer information. So of course you sign some documentation, but I'm not sure if they classify as NDAs,
Yes.
because,
So
you know, when you're testing, sometimes you might see some, you know, production database, you know,
yeah,
customer information.
perfect. You see information that you're not supposed to share with others. And of course, you sign a lot of documentation. And especially, there are also some companies which is like, as they said, in defense, for example, of course, it's even more steps for safety purpose. So we got the same question from you, Betul. So what was the biggest challenge, if you can answer in short,
Yeah,
what was the biggest challenge when you started the real job? What was the big, like the challenges at the beginning?
yeah. I'm gonna say it again. When you watch the, you know, videos, you attend classes, you do your homeworks. But if you're gonna do this as a job, I would suggest to, you know, try to learn the bigger picture. You know, how our software is really delivered, so that, you know, you could have more opportunities. Like I said, you can be an API tester, backend tester, that kind of stuff.
And then let's say, was the first interviews a little bit difficult for you? And then after that, did you get used to them?
Yeah, in my first interview, they asked me to, you know, interact with the browser using Selenium. And since we created a framework in the bootcamp, and we have some like methods we create that we use commonly, I kind of forget, you know, how we write those codes, you know, without a framework. So after the first interview, you know, made myself a, you know, small framework, inspired from yours. So that was a big challenge.
Yeah,
But after that, in my second interview, I literally showcased that framework that I did, and I got an offer.
Oh, that was perfect. So yes, sometimes when you know a lot, it's a problem because you have to make sure that, because they might ask simple questions and you also need to adjust.
Yeah, that's why I suggest, when you do a homework, in the first 2 months, it might be a good idea to do them later in the bootcamp.
Yeah, perfect. So are you part of the entire software development life cycle or just the testing life cycle, testing phase?
I mean, SDLC, the testing starts with the design phase. That's one of the first things that you're going to teach us in the bootcamp. So yeah, we owned a user story, a feature, a functionality from the get-go, a developer and a tester, so that we understand the functionality. And when the code is ready from a developer, we know what to test.
Oh, this is feeling like a real interview. They're interviewing you if you have the knowledge. Yeah, so definitely they like gonna do all of the things, but of course as a tester perspective, right? Because you are a tester, you're not gonna develop the code for the product, but you're gonna develop the code, right? You're gonna write the code for the testing part. So why don't software developers write tests and make sure the application works?
They do. They write unit and integration tests first to cover some of the basic, scenarios, and you write some user journeys. Let's say they might make sure, when you have a Amazon.com page, they might make sure, the login is working, which is a basic, user journey. But they don't write tests to, you log in, you add something to your card, you check out, you put your credit card in. Those kind of scenarios, you have to test them.
So it looks like our our viewers, they have a lot of knowledge about testing, so they're asking you really tough questions. So the thing is that, of course, the developers, they're going to develop the code. Sometimes they also write the testing, but the company, they have testers because they want to split the responsibilities to make sure that they can do the product as soon as possible, and because also the tester, they have a different view. Testing your own code, sometimes you don't challenge yourself, but if somebody else tests your code, then of course he will find something in your code. Do you do any manual testing in your job from time to time, or it's all API like backend testing?
Yeah, when we first write a test case, the scenarios, the steps we have, we validate them manually first, and then if those scenarios needs to be repetitive, we can do the automation later. So you always have to do manual testing first.
Okay, now these questions, they went a lot of technical. So those are generally the questions. So like, how was, right, generally, to just give a view about how was the bootcamp for you, if you had any difficulties during the interviews when you find the job, or if really Neotech helped you when you were in the market and all of this stuff. So this is the general idea that we invited you to explain your vision about what should they, and if you have any final suggestions for the let's say prospect students, what do we suggest to them? What do you tell them to do?
Again, since I kind of neglected this, do the homeworks. Do the homeworks multiple times. Not just the sake of doing them, try to understand them.
Okay, what about projects? Did you do the project?
Yeah, I think maybe the last one I didn't participate because it was only manual. So I was doing kind of my own like automation project.
Okay, perfect. And then about the thoughts on AI, always they ask the same question. Do you think that AI will replace us?
I mean, we talked about some of the like sensitive information of customers. So for most of the company, it's literally forbidden to put like any codes or like data in ChatGPT. So I think it's not gonna replace us, at least in the foreseeable future. You might use it, to help you, but it's not gonna replace us.
Yeah, that's a different view, like as you said, especially those sensitive data. So you don't want to open it to the open sources because those data will be shared with the others. That's a different view that I never thought. So Thank you very much for coming, Hasrat. And
My pleasure.
yeah, thank you very much that you answered all the questions. You got another you got another offer today. So yeah,
No problem. My pleasure. You have a good day, Alan. Bye.
okay,
Bye,
perfect.
everyone.
And Ahmet, we're gonna continue with the second part of the presentation.
Hello, hello. This is Ahmed. First of all, thank you, Asred. That was a great presentation. I mean, at this point, I think we should hire you as one of our instructors, you know. This was amazing. So, and the questions, I'm dying. Like I was just like, I stopped replying because I wanted to reply to you guys, like and answer your questions live as detailed as possible. Let me share my screen and I'll get to introduce myself. All right. Once again, my name is Ahmed. I am a senior QA engineer, and I'm one of the instructors here at Neto Academy. I'll be walking you through with the rest of the process, how you will learn, plus the job placement. Then we're going to talk about the tuition fee, the placement fee, how it works. Then the most exciting part is the questions. One thing that I kindly ask, I ended up losing connection. So because of that, I lost the first questions that you guys had. And if I don't answer your questions, whatever is in your mind, please feel free to put it in the chat again. But what I'll do is I'm going to continue with the slides. I'm not going to take too much of your time. Then we're going to go with the questions. So obviously, how you will learn, you will be having live classes. We have already talked about the schedule. Our live classes happening on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. But is that enough? Obviously not. On top of that, we will provide you individual projects. So within this projects, you get to experience a real life scenario as a software tester, what you will expect, how to act, what is your role within the team. This is all will be provided to you. We will have office hours. Those are available. And if you have any questions, you get to join the office hours, ask your questions, especially with the Java coding. I'm sure you're going to have a lot of questions. And these are the times that you get to answer them. Homework and task is a must. You know, this will be during the class and plus, you know, after the class, that for you to actually train yourself with whatever you just learned. We will have coding challenges. That's essential because not only to learn the Java or any type of coding, you will also required to solve some coding questions during the interview processes. So that's why it's really, really important. We will have a final assessment, which is going to be a mock interview, including all of your assignments and the task and how you've performed during the program. And the review classes is like every Sunday, we have to review whatever we learn because that's the way to learn. And we will have on top of the individual group projects, we will have group projects. Those will be the ones that you get to, again, participate in a group environment. And as you know, and I can see from the group, we have some like people with testing knowledge or at least like software development knowledge. Being in a team is a must for software development. We will have quizzes, and one of the most important things, one of the things that we're really proud of is the mentor session. So you will each have assigned mentor for yourself, and you get to ask your questions. I mean, on top of us, your instructors and everyone, you'll get to ask your questions to the mentors. So this is the process. But what is really important, as I mentioned before, our success is defined by placing you in a high-paying IT job. So that's the goal. You can get as many certifications as you like. We can issue you one too. But technically, at the end of the day, as Astrid also mentioned, you don't really need it. Because what you will be doing is that you will perform so well in the interview that they will offer you the job. That's the goal. And how does that happen? How do we get to that point? Obviously, you will go through the journey. You'll learn all the tools, all the skills, and plus, we have like a really skilled placement team. So what we will do is we will build your resume according to the needs of this job market. Okay, and on top of that, you will have lots of soft skill classes, especially during the Wednesday classes. These are going to be targeted with the soft skills. So it will start from the beginning of software development techniques and all the way to the, how to answer where do you see yourself in like 5 years type of question. So these are all the soft skills that you will be needing. And I can assure you, Java, Selenium, all the tools that we teach you is really important, but soft skills is as important as it. I talked about the one-on-one mentoring, so that's really, really beneficial because you're not just going to be mentored by some random person. It's going to be, our mentors are seasoned software testers working in this field in different domains, and they get to give you their concept, their expertise, their perspective. We talked about the mock interviews. I want to get into that a little bit. So mock interviews will happen at the finish line of our program. What it means, you will get to be interviewed before you actually release the job market. And in order to pass, you have to perform well. It's going to be a safe, like a sandbox for you. But at the end of it, you're going to get a good feedback. And we will give you an extensive knowledge on how the job market works, how to apply for jobs, where to apply, when to apply. And on top of that, we have, great alumni members just like Asret, and they will be, this is the most beautiful part. So whenever there's a job available at Hasrets or any other alumni network member we have, guess who they're going to be calling, and that's going to be us. And obviously, you get to take advantage of that too. So that's really important too. So the question is, what does the job market look like right now? And I assume the best way to show it will be the offer letters, because again, you have lots of questions about that. Take this. Okay, so there are some offer letters that we have collected. So obviously there are multiple type of contracts, full-time, direct hire, contract to hire, like all those terminology. I don't mean to confuse you. This is not a class, but during our program, we teach you all of them, how to negotiate, how to differentiate, what type of offer you're getting, who you are talking with, what type of questions you might be getting, and in terms of like personal, why did you decide to go this way? We will cover everything from A to Z. And this is one of the offers. This is just to show you that per hour rate 51. It's not as high, but this is what I want to mention. As you remember, we were asked, like, I think it was better, why Java? So obviously Java is one of the most common, most popular languages, programming languages right now. Python is also on the rise, but if you know Java, that shows that you can actually learn anything. That's the idea. And our student here, she was able to receive this offer as a developer, technically, as you can see. So it's not even a directly software tester. And this happened many times. Why? Once again, because you perform so well with the questions, the way you answer, your technical skills, you can go anywhere. And that could be easily from a software engineer to all the way to database tester. So the sky is the limit here. So I wanted to show you another one. So this was one of the recent offers, and I want to showcase here. I know this number might be looking really juicy. I'm talking about $175,000 annually. This is New York, so there's a difference. But this is one of the high ends of it too. So you can there's no reason for you to not to be eligible for this offer. Obviously, we have 125. We have some 105s. So many more like that. My best expertise is whenever you get an offer letter, that's like my, that's my siesta. That's the day that I actually enjoy. I see it, and the way that we talk to each other and like the way that we negotiate, I help you to negotiate for the offer. That's the best time. I'm sure Hasretos can also attest to that. So this is the part that we work all together. Okay. These are some companies that are alumni is working actively, and there are many more, and you can be working in one of them, hopefully. Okay, so most important part, tuition fee. So as you know, this is the first info session of our next batch, which will start at April 21st. And our tuition fee remained the same, $4,900. That's the tuition fee we have. On top of that, we have something called placement fee, okay? And I want to explain this placement fee with a little bit detail. If you don't understand, please feel free to ask. So placement fee is a fee that only occurs once you find a job. And I'm not saying when, like, it's just like, I'm sorry. It's like once you are placed into the job, kindly ask for the 85% of your first monthly salary. So why do we do that? Because again, we want you to be in the position where you're comfortable. We don't want to burden you with $10,000, like crazy amount of tuition fee, and you work to pay your tuition fee. Rather than that, you just, do the payment so that we can actually give our service. Then once you find a job, then you comfortably pay your, fee, and you are happy and we're happy. That's what we're looking forward to have here. Obviously, one of the things, we have installments available. Okay, what does it mean? With the tuition fee, we have interest-free installments, so you don't have to pay everything up front. You can just like pay slowly. Another question that I just remembered is that, okay, before I get to that, placement fee, we offer 4 monthly installments. Question is, when do we get to pay this tuition fee? Does it like whenever we sign the deal? No, you get to pay this tuition fee when our program starts, so April 21st. So you have no obligation whatsoever. The only good part about like signing the deal is that you secure your place so that you are 100% in our classes. And if you change your mind, it's up to you. So for today's special, our first info session of the season, and we're super excited. This is our highest discount. So if you enroll by January 15th, you will be eligible for $500 early bird discount. Okay, so this is important. $500 off immediately. So that will bring your tuition fee to $4,400. Okay, and again, we offer 7 monthly installments. So I'm really bad at math, and which is surprising, right? You might be thinking that as a software tester, I should be good at math. If we divide $4,400, it's like $628 in some sense, right? So this is what you pay. And considering that this is going to be a life-altering decision, I don't think that's going to be too much. Once again, $500 early bird discount, and this is only for you guys. I don't mean to keep you long, but since you're here, you're eligible for this discount. Remember, don't forget about it. On top of that, we still have our friends and family referral discount. So if you're referred by a friend, please make sure to mention their name during the application process, which I'll walk you through. And on top of that, we are encouraging groups. So if you have a friend that is also thinking about it, we want you to invite your friend and come together. First of all, we give some incentive, which is a discount. Second of all, this is a tested and proven concept. If you have a friend, I'm sure like some of you are going to gym, it's like a gym buddy. If you have someone that is helping you out, that is like pushing you, you will get there even better. And once one of you finds a job, there is no way that the other one is just like sitting there without a job. So that's how it is. You refer your friend, you help your friend. So that's why groups of three, 4, like we will be giving you discounts. So don't worry, reach us out. And that's like that will be the ideal scenario for you too. So if your friend is thinking like, okay, you go first, you finish and I'll see it later, you will be not eligible for the discount and your friend will be losing like close to 6 months of time. So, this is important. You can convince them. We have something called our like refund policy. And as you know, we're really proud of it too. It's 30 days. So starting from April 21st, all the way to May 21st, you will be able to take advantage of this refund policy, okay? Which means if anything happens, if this program is not for you, if you feel like the time is not enough or you are not comfortable, if you don't like it, you don't like this instructor called Ahmed, you can just say that, okay, I want my money back. And no questions asked, your money will be 100% refunded back. The good thing is, as you can see, risk-free. You might be thinking, I don't have any IT background. These people here have been asking crazy good questions, and like I'm here, I have no idea about what's happening. Risk-free. Just come and try, see for yourself. And on top of it, once you sign the document, like our agreement, but once you're in, you will be eligible to watch our videos. So those videos will give you an idea about how the Java works, a good amount of Java classes. On top of that, we are providing some soft skill classes. So you get to see how the classes work. Some of you might be just having questions about your English level, totally understandable, or your work authorization, regardless. You can always come and try for yourself. But if you want to get more information, this is the way to do it. So as you can see, you can just shoot up some email at team@neotacademy.com, and one of our team members will get back to you. Or my favorite way of contacting is scheduling a phone call. I know it doesn't look fun, but if you put on your name, your number, and your email address, that's it. We will get back to you in your desired time. So our admission specialist will give you a call and answer all of your questions. Or you can directly give us a call at the number here, and that's the way to do it. If you feel like you're ready, like, okay, yeah, this is good, I actually want to try it because it's risk-free. Why would I even think, what would I even think about, like it's I'm already sold. I know I've been exploring different boot camps, and you guys are the best, and you just need to visit this website. Once you do, this will take you to our wonderful application form, which is simple, your first name, last name, your email addresses, your country. So once again, this is a US and Canada info session. We will have a separate one for the European students. So don't worry about it. You can just put your country here. And how did you hear about us? This is important. In order to be eligible for that referral discount that I have mentioned, you have to put your name down here and any notes, questions you have here, okay? So easy. Let me go back. Here we go. So why us? This is the last slide before we get into the questions, which I'm super excited about. First of all, as you can see, we are passionate and motivated to help our students in many ways, not just like during the program, but after the program too. This is, I didn't have an idea that it was going to be this like a community of people will be like belonging to Neo Academy. And right now, it is such an honor. And that's why I am proud to say that this program is working. And that means like I'm seeing some happy faces. So it means this is tested and proven. And we are actually focusing on hands-on, collaborative training. So it's a teamwork. That is why also we have that 30-day refund policy. I'm not going to lie. If you're not able to do it, I would prefer for you to withdraw from the classes and join our next program. Like that's perfectly fine. Why? Because we structure everything according to you. So groups, like mentors, everything for you. So that is why it's really, really essential for you to give your 100% if you can. Obviously, we constantly work on improving our services, getting the feedback from you, and try to think of a way to make our program even better. And on top of that, we're here to help you build your career from the ground up. So that's the motto. So now it's time for questions. And again, I'm sorry, I lost most of them, like majority of the questions. That was really good by Dwayne, by Betul, by Abdurrahman. So if I don't remember it, it's going to be, please feel free to remind me, okay? So the first thing first, I'm starting from the latest question. The program says 6+. I'm Paul, I think you are referring to our program length. So our program is, like we're saying 6+ due to the fact that, throughout the year, we have some holiday seasons, like they're like time intervals. We have a project at the end of the program. So everything included, that is the plus part. So that is why we call it 6+. But if you just count the days of the program, it is, again, technically 6 months. On top of that, what are your thoughts on the impacts of AI on software testing? Okay, so obviously this is one of the concerns. AI is like growing crazy, and what do we do? Are we still needed? So will they be able to do everything? The AI is going to just take our jobs. So this was a question even asked within my company as well. And one of the answers that I can say is that maybe software developers are in risk because, again, AI is really good at even coding itself. But I can assure you, as a tester, you are going to be there no matter what, because human touch is still needed. Think about, let alone the AI, we still have software engineers, right? They're able to do this job. Why, which was one of the questions, why software engineers not doing this job, like they're jobless out there, and why us QA engineers exist? First of all, again, it's better for somebody else to do a quality control, quality assurance on your work. So that's why we have a separate team. Second of all, you are you have many skills and tools that allows you to work on from a perspective from a critical thinking perspective. So that I'm not saying the software engineers, they don't have that. Maybe some of them have it, but specializing in one area is always makes you better. And that's why we're known as, testers, and they're aware we can think outside of the box and we can just test it with the necessary tools and the documentation. Okay. So let me see. I'm going to the poll question again. Do you have to do any manual testing in your job? Okay, this was for Hasret. I think this was answered. One of the questions I remember is the workload. I can also answer that too. When it comes to the workload, you are entitled to work 40 hours a week. That's how it is. But I've been around different jobs. I can say that maybe like once or twice that I actually worked like 40 or 40 plus hours. I'm not saying like I don't work, but technically, you can do the job even with a shorter period of time. And software testing, which takes you can extend the period of time that you do the testing by just doing it throughout testing. So this is how it is. But the workload, and we will teach you what you need to actually do is never that high. And that's one of the reasons that software testing QA engineer title is one of the happiest jobs in the world. Okay, we had a question. I guess it says, what if we find a job without help? Do we still need to give you 85% of our first check? So if you're able to find a job in this field or related field, right? Like it can be software tester, it can be software engineer, as I mentioned, with the knowledge that we provide. If you're able to find a job, that means we kind of are actually help you, right? Because we taught you this. So that's how it goes. But obviously, you will, maybe you are having doubts about like, hey, 85% of our first salary is a lot. But I can assure you, with the amount of work that you will receive, you will not find this lots of money. It's actually really, really easy to pay, especially when you have your first paycheck. That's actually why we offer installments. And we don't just want to take your whole first paycheck or something. We want you to enjoy the time, enjoy the, all the perks of having a good amount of salary. And that's how it goes. Okay, so we have another question. Have you seen a decline in the number of software jobs in the last year or so? I've heard that IT is oversaturated, but it's hard to know if that's just hearsay. So obviously, we are also closely monitoring the market, and within the Neotech Academy, my expertise is the job placement. And I can assure you, with the jobs that like you see, Amazon is like laying off 10,000 people, instantly. You see the same with Meta, and this is concerning. But at the end of the day, if you look closely at the numbers, most of the time, software testers are the least. So there was a time, again, we have seen COVID. And even during the COVID, people were claiming that, okay, this is horrible, we're done, that's it. But then it picked up. There is always a fluctuation, and this will never change. But what matters is, and for those who's in the market to look for a bootcamp, you have to understand this, guys. There are a lot of bootcamps out there, but what they provide you, that's what matters, because during the interview, you will be competing with them. And at the end of the day, if you're able to understand, like you get good knowledge from instructors, mentors, if you have a solid idea of software development lifecycle, if you have all this information, you will be the one that is getting that offer. Okay. So that's why I don't really see, as let alone new students are finding a job, our current students, they actually switch jobs, and that's usually how it is. Okay. Do you guys have any advice before we start to the bootcamp? Perfect question. One of the advice we have is please contact us, apply, go through with the process. We will give you access for our first classes. Okay, so those classes will give you an idea about the program. And during that time, you can just watch and see for yourself. Obviously, getting some like additional material would be helpful, but that's not mandatory. And if you even don't, if you just want to wait till April 21st, you have no problem whatsoever. And another thing, okay, so I have another question. Is it 85% of the first month's salary only? Let me show you the tuition fee again. So we have a tuition fee, which if you enroll within this period of time, it's going to be $4,400, okay? Not $4,900, it's going to be $4,400. This is going to be divided into 7 monthly installments, and you will get to pay it while you're learning all the material, right? Once you finish the bootcamp, you will be released to the job market. And whenever you find a job, that's when you will be entitled to pay 85% of your first monthly salary. That's going to be only when you find the job, when you complete your first month even. So you will receive your first paycheck. That's when we kindly ask. And again, this is the way to make you relax rather than just asking for a half the amount of tuition fee. So this is how it goes. I hope it's clear, Abdurrahman. Okay. Did I miss any important questions?
Yeah, Ahmed, so there is a couple of other good questions. So one of them was, will we have access to the recordings after we finish the bootcamp?
Great
So
question.
Yes. Yeah.
So yes, you will have access to all the materials, and even after you find a job, we will revoke your access. I'm not going to lie, but if you need to review the materials, you can still reach us out, and we will provide you access for the materials that you have you were enrolled with. So yeah, no worries with that.
Okay. Another one is, what percentage of people that successfully completed the bootcamp find a full-time job?
Yeah, whenever we get this question, and I want to say 100%, but I just want to give that 1% chance. So our students who complete our program, attended all of our classes, just like if they were not able to attend, watched all of our classes, did all the homeworks, and placed in the job market, there is no one that is not able to find a job unless they decided to not to, find it or apply for it. So there's no reason for you to not find a job too. That's how high it is. This is how the market works. The time frame, that is what changes. So you are in the market, you might be getting the job in the first interview. That happened a lot. You might be getting the job in your 15th interview. And the first interview can come in the first day, which again happened. And we had some students who were struggling in the job market for like, a couple of months. Obviously, for both of them, we will help. So we will still be there as a placement team. We will get to see if there is anything that you are doing wrong, or if there is anything that get done wrong. So that's why we have the mock interviews. We cover all the cases to make sure that you find a job.
Okay, perfect. And then if you can go back to the other discounts, because
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah, so also besides on top of the $500 discount that you mentioned, there's also other, if somebody referred to you, right, the friends and family discount, and or also if there is a group discount, so if there are a group of people. So those are, I just want to make sure that the people truly understand this one. And also you said that the first payment will be done on, let's say, the first installment will be done on April 21st. And then you said that 30 days of trial, meaning that at the end of the 30 days, if they decide to quit, they're going to be refunded the first month payment. And then if not, then we continue with the rest of the payments. And then the same thing also for the installments. You said that there are 4 installments for the 85% of the first month salary, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, another question there.
Yes. So Paul asked, how many months do your one-time placement services last after 6-month bootcamp finishes? So this is the 85% of the first month salary. It looks like a one-time fee for the first job. And after that, we will still charge you, but it's going to be a fraction of the placement fee. And obviously that depends on if you're eligible. So we have some contact, which our admission specialists can give more details about it. But the most important part, which I can also I want to talk about more, about having a really rooted bootcamp. So what does it mean? Obviously, you want your bootcamp to be there in a couple of years to support you, and this is what we will do. We've been supporting our students so far, and hopefully we will continue to do so. So you will have no issue, even after like a couple of years. And we have some students who's been working more than 2 years now. They're still able to change a job, and we'll be there we are here to support.
You please go to the previous slide. So that is actually the answer to his question. So for the placement fee also, it will be split in four installments, right? That is the short answer for his question. Because he said after for the one-time placement, which is 85% of the salary, that is also be done not in one time, but of course, like it will split in installments to make sure that we don't get the first month from them, and then because you have to take care of your family, so you pay it also in installments.
My short answer is yes. Infinite time. We never stop supporting you. That's the short answer. I give you the long one. Great questions. I love it. Like Paul, Abdurrahman, Betül, and like everybody. Thank you again, Becky. I think Boman was like Dwayne also. You guys have been asking great questions. That's why I'm concerned. I lost the sum of the chat and I was not able to answer the first questions. So please feel free to share it if you still remember, or if you feel like they're not being answered yet. Let's see. I guess no more questions. But again, our program starts at April 21st. I'm sure you feel like you have plenty of time. Just take advantage of this early bird discount. Contact us. Just apply. Use our website if you're shy. Somebody we will schedule a call. Make sure to mention whoever you get the referral from. If you have a group more than 2, 3, 4, 5, that's amazing. And if you have any questions, if you want to ask more questions to me, just ask for me, or even sending an email mentioning Ilion's name, my name. It's going to be directed to us, so don't worry about it. And hopefully I'll get to see you in our classes, and we'll get to talk more and more about software testing.
Thank you everybody for joining. See you in classes.